Welcome back, Mares. This is Blocks and it's episode 50 of Blocks Plays Build It. 5-0, the big 5-0. And I've been asking you over the last couple of weeks what you'd like to see as something kind of special for episode 50. Some people were saying, get your city sorted, Blocks, but you know, if you've followed the series, we're redesigning at the moment, and this array here of Omega zones is actually for another tips and tricks video I've got coming up. It's taken me about 10 days to set this up, so you'll see that fairly soon. But what I've decided on for a couple of special things we can do today, we're going to open a golden chest. I've been saving that for today. We are going to place down a Platinum Keys Park, because I did pretty well in the Contest of Mayors in the season just gone. We finished in the Metropolis League, and we managed to win the Epic Movie Set. Didn't quite get to Megalopolis, but I wasn't too fussed about the Horror Movie Set anyway. I didn't really like the detail on it. Spiders and bugs and things, not my kind of thing. But we did alright, we're in Metropolis League, and I actually got 5 Sim Cash from the ending of the last Metropolis League. And I got a couple of Platinum Keys, and I got a season prize as well of 2 more Platinum Keys. I think it was, or maybe 3, I can't remember. But it gave me enough, basically, to buy my second favourite building in the game. So if you know what that is, you'll be looking forward to that later on, and we'll place that down. But first up, let's get to the golden chest, because I know that bugs people when we don't open the golden chest. So we'll tap up here on the plus symbol in the top right for the daily chest thing. You can see the red thing there. There it is. Daily bonus. Golden chest is ready. Let's claim it. What are we going to get today? Go Sim Cash. Oh, not bad. 23 Sim Cash. 2 exhausts. I don't really need those anymore. I've unlocked all my land finally a couple of episodes ago, and a golden key. And they're always useful for long game content. So let's do our city tour and talk about what areas we've currently got, what we're redesigning. We'll look a little bit at what we did on the live stream this week with a new sort of financial field district over here, where we moved out my Tokyo town zones. We'll talk about the Omega area down here, and we'll just explore the city. And then, before we finish the episode, we will place down my second favourite building in the game, which is, drumroll please, and scrolling, 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 and more scrolling, and scrolling, and scrolling, and scrolling, and scrolling. And scrolling again, there it is, the Royal Garden, 6 Platinum Keys. And not long ago we actually placed my favourite building in the game, which was the Kölner Dom. Ooh, while we're actually here, and I've remembered about the skate park, let's go ahead and drag that out to here, as I do want one of those in that area as well. So we'll come back to that later. Let's talk about my city. So I always like to have a little bit of a story behind my games and my gameplay, and I think SimCity BuildIt lends itself to that kind of storytelling. So you're not just building maybe an efficient city, you're also thinking about, in terms of, you know, how would a sim experience this city from the ground level? And you can imagine them kind of driving in and being wowed by this big, long, grand city avenue entrance, which runs all the way down to the bottom of the city to this nice lake, which we need to work on this area a little bit. And if they're a tourist, maybe they'll head out to our Kitsch Route 66 idea here, where they'll whiz along this road at high speed, apart from around the corners obviously, and maybe they'll stop and have a look at some of these little exhibits or displays or fun little things. We've got some New Year stuff down the end here from 2016, the New Year's Tower, and 2017 the Happy New Year Park. We've got some of the old things from Chinese New Year before, the Dragon Park. We've got some Valentine's Day stuff from last year, but I think it came back again this year, didn't it? We've got some of the Easter stuff from this year, the new Egg Slide Park, the Spiral Slide Park, and the Chicken Park there. And we've got the Basket Bunny, and there's a Spring Chick statue somewhere. There it is, yes. So yeah, we've got some kitsch little things that I don't think fit as well with the decor if you're kind of trying to build sort of an urban environment. I think they actually look quite good on their own, so I thought, why not have a nice themed area down here? So that's our Route 66 style area. We do need to move all our factories, commercial buildings and things around, because we've got commercial buildings here which have got to get shifted back into the city at some point, and we've got some themed areas for those. But then the tourists might come around here. We're going to have some stuff on the mountainside here. We've got our city name sign proudly displaying all your blocks. It used to be Blocktopia, but when I changed my city name to show you how to edit your city name in game, I couldn't change it back to Blocktopia afterwards for some reason. They must have changed the filters. And apparently, Blocktopia, no good anymore. I have no idea why. Round this way, we have our sort of Parisian, French Paris town area with little vineyards, which again needs a bit of a redesign and a bit more space to breathe. But on the back of the sort of rear of the properties, we've got some alpine vineyards as well, which we will work into that. So we kind of got a feel of almost like a little village or area of the city where they're growing wine or something like that, or growing grapes to crush the wine. You don't just grow wine. It's not like you grow wine on trees. Although maybe these little purple triangles here on this on those vines, it's just bottles of wine. Oh dear. Okay, so and then we've got the Kölner Dom in here, my favourite building in the game. I think that's going to look amazing when I can redesign this Omega Zone area. And this is where my Omega stuff is going to be, because I think it blends really nicely with the Neo Mall. I can have that area be some high-rise stuff, some low-rise stuff, a little bit of all the different kinds of Omega buildings we've got in the game. And then over this way, we've moved out our Tokyo Town zone, and we've started building a kind of a financial district. Now obviously we haven't got, you know, financial properties, but I think a lot of these high tier residential buildings look quite like financial headquarters, you know. I was thinking Canary Wharf in London, if you look at that area from above, there's quite a few buildings that look similar to these. So this sort of square or diamond shaped building, however you kind of look at it from above, I think there's quite a few bank HQs that kind of look like that, which is quite cool. So a few of those together. There's a building called the Shard in London as well, which looks a little bit like this. It sort of reminds me of that kind of angular. And I think that's around, is it sort of Shoreditch, Liverpool Streets kind of way. And I think that'd be quite cool. So I tried to put 3 of those together, but all in different directions. And that looks quite nice. And on the live stream yesterday, it was for me, so you'll probably be about 2 days ago by the time this video actually goes live, but we built this little park in here. And I'm actually going to do a quick sort of tips and tricks or city design video on this, because I think it looks really, really cool, and show you kind of how to put this together, because you have to orient stuff in a particular way. But I really love how this looks. And you've got the ice sculpture park in the middle there. We've got some reflecting pool parks, and then we've got peaceful parks on the end. And I love the look of that. It just sort of sits between the 2 lakes. And we're going to build up this area and have a real, hopefully, sort of financial feel to it. Then over this way, we worked on this a couple of live streams ago. And we've got our kind of industrial area here with dirty industry and dirty services and things like sort of sewage. We've got a garbage incinerator in here, and a couple of factories. So we've got the high-tech factory here, another one here, another one here, and another one there. And they're all slightly different colours, so I tried to get each of the 3 colour palettes for these buildings represented in the game, and tried to think about height and shape and form, so that, you know, kind of if a sim was driving in here in to see the city storage, and then they looked right, you kind of get buildings that are the same height, and then you look across to the larger rear side, the back of the high-tech factories, and then you kind of move into the industrial estate. You've got a bit of a roundabout setup going on here. You've got an oil power plant. And then out this way, we're going to have some cleaner industry. Still working on designing this area. I've come up with a couple of ideas. So we've got some ponds here between the nanotech factories. And we've got some reflecting pool parks again. I think they'll look great with the greenery on the base of the nanotech factory, and the greyness of the overall look and feel of the factories. We'll probably fit in this jogging path somehow as well. So I think that'll be a sort of a dirty industry into more modern and sort of clean industry kind of feel. We'll have maybe some solar power plants and some more wind farms and stuff in there. We've got a couple of little wind power plants there, which I think slot in quite nicely, not too obtrusive, but give the hint that maybe things are modernising. And then down this way, this is sort of higgledy-piggledy storage area right now. But eventually, on the left-hand side here, and you can see where I've started it, we've got the gambling HQ there. And this is going to form the basis of our sort of casino strip in the desert. So on the left hand side we'll have the gambling HQ and a couple of little buildings that maybe look like sort of headquarters, maybe some parks around it. And then over this side, where I'm actually working on the Omega Zone at the moment, all will be revealed in a video fairly soon. We're going to have our casino strip, and we're going to remake that coming out this way into the city. Then down here, past all these factories and derelict buildings that need repairing at the moment from the disaster I launched recently, we've got some coal power plants. And right now I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I would like to complete all the city achievements that give you all the sort of sim cash and stuff. So I probably need to keep these around for a little while until we can cover, I think it's 175 residential zones you need to cover with coal power, where is it, or oil. I've moved the Mayor's Mansion, there it is. Let's tap on it and we'll scroll through and actually just double check. Oh no, we actually did do that one already. Coal or oil power to 170 residential zones. I think that actually might be the maximum. So maybe we can get rid of those then. Let's just double check. Ooh. And we should probably review these as well, see how far I've got in my play so far. I definitely need to work on some of these achievements. I haven't worked specifically towards these for quite a while. Oh yes, so it's just nuclear fusion and omega power to 75 residential zones, and I guess that will probably go to 150 and then 170 as well. So we can probably swap out those coal power stations completely as we've actually finished that achievement. Haha, fantastic. Well, that's good news. We'll do that later. But I might store one or two of them. And I was thinking about having a couple of them maybe up here in this industrial zone. So perhaps near the garbage incinerator we might just restructure a little bit. I put a fire station in there. Maybe we could have a coal power plant instead, or two. But I don't want to get it too close to our sort of clean nanotech area. On the beach, I tried to keep it fairly clear and free of clutter. We are redesigning this area at the moment as well. I've got the lighthouse just kind of set in one from the outside of the beach just to give it room away from the city border. We've got our nice whale watching tower from Earth Day last year, which I think is a fantastic building. The amount of work the developers put into the whale watching tower and the dolphin watching boat and the other Earth Day stuff you could get in the game was really, really cool to see. It's a shame that Apple didn't do an App Store wide promotional campaign for that again this year, really. Would have been quite cool with the sort of, maybe the spring stuff could have been a, you know, a tie-in or something like that with the old farm and things, but sadly not. So maybe Apple will bring that back next year, you never know, fingers crossed. So yeah, this area is a bit of a mess. We've got some recycling centres which we should probably move, have a couple of those in our higher tech industry corridor down here. And we'll clean up this area down here. So once the coal power stations are gone, we can also have a road sort of coming off this way, as I've got around the lake right now, and into a new area. And I'm not sure what we'll have in here. Maybe some beachfront properties or something, so some sort of luxury looking buildings along the front here. That might be quite cool. We'll need to segregate it from the industry, obviously, and make sure there's a bit of a break in the city, but that could be quite nice. We'll also put in a couple of landmarks. So we've got the Arc de Triomphe here. Maybe we'll put that in our Grand City Avenue entrance somewhere. I might also buy the Cinquantenaire Arch one day. I'm not too sure. And of course, right now we've got here our basically building storage area for buildings I'm probably not going to use, or I want to try and get another one off. So sneaking in here, oh yes, I know how to use speed up token parts, go away. Okay. Sneaking in here, I've got two of these here, which are the exact same building but in the different colour palettes. So for every building in the game, you probably know there are 3 different versions, effectively, like different colours. And I'd like to get another one of those to go with that, so I can then have them together, like it looks like a little flat or residential complex or something. I think that'd be a really cool look, and I might even pair it with this Laurel Lofts in the back here, because that's kind of got a similar style as well with the angular roofs. So we might have some residential zones actually in this area, probably not these ones. A lot of these will actually get bulldozed. I've started collecting a few together though. So here we've got the Carlisle Luxury Apartments, the Luxor ones, the Thomas Estate, McBride's Tower, Myers Apartments, and these have all got similar colours or shapes. We've got sort of blues and greys and a little bit of white in there as well. I think they look quite good together. So I might end up doing that in this area as well. All this Omega stuff will obviously go to over here. And that's actually the city tour, really. It is a bit higgledy-piggledy. We are in the middle of a big redesign. My happiness dipped to, I think it was 36% the other day when I was moving stuff around. And that's going to happen when you're redesigning your city. I know that frustrates some people, but I think it's important to get it right, and I really want to make a good go of this. So let's finish the episode by placing down the Royal Garden. We need to find space for it. Our city is so cramped that okay, we'll put it over here for now. So let's head on over to Parks, and we're going to spend, what, probably the most difficult currency to get in the game, platinum keys. Can't get them by any other method other than the Contest of Mayors, and I'm really pleased that we can actually get the Royal Garden in our city. So let's go ahead and place it. I think it's going to look really cool once I design an area around it. Oh, awesome. Love the detail on this build. The patterns on the grassy areas and the sort of the sandy or dusty or stony or gravelly paths or whatever they are in the middle look really, really cool. It looks a lot better at day than it does at night, I will say that. Oh, you actually get kind of a little bit of an odd visual illusion there, almost, don't you? If I rotate it round, it almost looks like the paths on the outside of the cross are sort of flexing, like you're almost getting like a circular line outside. I don't know if you can see that or not. It just looks a little bit strange. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But let's have a look at it at daytime. And while we do that, actually, let's have a chat about kind of what I've got planned for the channel in the future. Because we've got a lot of tips and tricks videos and things saved up from our recent move where I couldn't produce videos for a while, or where we didn't have access to a demo city. It's a lot more difficult to produce tips and tricks videos or set up situations where I can demonstrate stuff. So this Omega tips and tricks video I've got planned for the future, that took a long time to set up. And yeah, it's all that kind of stuff. You have to make space in your city, you have to move it around, you have to find a way to demonstrate stuff. But I've got a bit more space in the city now, and with the redesign and things getting more organised, hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate a bit more of that for you. So I'm looking forward to getting back into creating those tips and tricks videos. And if there's something you're struggling with in game specifically that you want a bit of advice on or something like that, then drop a comment down below this video or tweet at me on Twitter, and I will try and do my best to produce those. But yeah, as the sun comes up here, let's bask in the glory of episode 50 and the Royal Garden looking so awesome. The shadow kind of lifts off it from that building. You can see it, you can really capture the detail of it now during the day, and it does look super cool. I think it'll look really nice in a sort of central area of our city, and I did think yesterday actually about building this on the live stream and putting it into the financial district we were designing around the ice sculpture park or something like that, but it's a 4x4 and we felt it didn't quite fit. The other option was maybe as a central place for the Grand City Avenue entrance. But again, 4x4 probably needs to be like a 3x3 or a 5x5, and this is 4x4 city blocks. And I think the reason actually we ruled it out for the financial district in the end wasn't that it was 4x4, it was more that it didn't quite fit the theme, because you had that sort of beige look and the sort of sandy paths and stuff, rather than the bluer, cleaner, white and green and grey kind of lines of this park. We ruled it out. But maybe we'll find a good spot for it. So yeah, that's a good place to leave this episode, I think. Do let me know what area you'd like of my city you'd like to see me work on next, of the ones I've mentioned. We're going to finish up obviously in the industrial area, in the financial district we talked about. But if there's something else that you think needs looking at sooner rather than later, then let me know that in the comments below as well. Until next time, Mayors, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.